All right, well, first of all, I want to know how you guys scored the movie seats in the back. I see you. Okay, so as someone who has taken part in Hizmet travel programs now across the continent, or continents, I'm especially honored to be standing here in India, a country whose history and spirit have long welcomed learners from all around the world. Before we begin on the slides here, I'd like to share a moment from a recent journey that truly deepened not just my appreciation for what these trips offer, but also for others. So not long ago, I traveled to Tanzania with a remarkable group of people, academics, doctors, students, an aerospace engineer, a realtor, business leader, and more. Our journey took us to a Hizmet school, where we heard how the students and administrators regularly collaborate with a partner school in one of the city's poorest neighborhoods. And it's not just about students tutoring other students, it's about leaders in these schools supporting leaders in these communities. So they were lifting each other up. We opened a water well with Embrace Relief in a small village, making clean water accessible not only for the school, but for the whole community. We spent time at an orphanage, bringing supplies and a little comfort to both children and hardworking staff. And we were welcomed into the homes of families who had found refuge in Tanzania, obviously from Turkey, who opened their tables and who shared their stories with us. That trip quickly became more than travel. It became something a lot deeper, a journey of shared learning, of dialogue, and mutual support that transcended borders and it transcended backgrounds. So this idea of learning by traveling, sharing, and serving has a long history, actually. In many faiths and cultures, people crossed borders to grow in knowledge and character. Muslims traveled for learning, Catholics journeyed across Europe to study, and Mennonites learned by living and serving with others. So all believed that learning should stretch us, and it should prepare us for service beyond our own communities. And that brings us here to India today, and I stand here not just as a visitor, but as part of a tradition that India has shaped for centuries. India has always sent out and welcomed seekers and students and thinkers from around the globe. Oh, I don't have the slides yet. I'm good. Even now, tens of thousands of students from more than 170 countries come here to study. So India is not just part of global education, it's at the heart of it. So as we move into the next part of the talk, which I'm going to run through some slides, I invite you to see these Hizmet trips through Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania, not just as kind of a study abroad, but actually as a living classroom. So these trips connect people, they connect educators, they connect students, professionals, and communities in Africa, Europe, and beyond. We learn together, we share meals together, we listen to stories, and we work on real projects that matter. With partners like Embrace Relief, these journeys become even more meaningful, mixing service and learning so no one is just a beneficiary, everyone becomes a teacher and a partner. So this is how true global education, I believe, happens through preparation, immersion, reflection, and responsibility. We come home changed, not just because we helped, but because we saw the world with new eyes. We saw it through a different lens. And as I go into the slides, I want you to remember this is a tradition people of all faiths and backgrounds have practiced really for centuries, and it's a tradition that India continues to shape right here today. And I think Hizmet does it very, very well. All right, so we're living in a time of rising polarization and mistrust across societies. We all know that. Governments continue to negotiate, but state-to-state diplomacy alone is no longer enough. So peace doesn't just live on in treaties, it lives on in relationships. So why does this matter now? I actually just said that. Education as a peace-building tool is one of the things that these trips do. I'm not going to tell you, or I'm going to tell you things that you already know. I wasn't quite sure who was all going to be in the audience, but we're living, or Hizmet is a global service-oriented civic movement that's rooted in education, it's rooted in dialogue, and it's rooted in service. What makes it powerful is its lived ethics, education as service, dialogue as responsibility, and compassion as action. So what makes these trips different? Different than Rhodes Scholars programs, different than universities that offer travel programs to their graduates or alumni. So when Hizmet cultural trips bring together educators, professionals, as I mentioned before, judges, healthcare workers, and civic leaders into a purpose-driven learning journey, participants start to understand how history, faith, culture, and civic life actually intersect. So what is learning like through relationship? Learning happens in deeply human ways, through some home hospitality on these trips, shared meals, and honest conversations. When people sit together at a table, their stories end up replacing stereotypes, and this is where trust begins. So what is the global reach? Well, Peace Islands has facilitated trips. They've taken participants, as many of you know, and some of you may have actually been on these trips, to Turkey. In working with Peace Islands, Pennsylvania, I've taken people to Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, Egypt, Greece, Spain, Romania, and other locations. Different cultures, different histories, but the same desire to be seen, to be respected, and to be understood. So I want to show you a video here, just a quick video from Peace Islands. This is from our trip to Uganda. And I want you to notice not just the projects, but notice the relationships. Watch how people listen, share stories, and learn together, because this here is diplomacy in action.
I think I've always had a heart for humanitarian missions, and that's why I wanted to go on this trip.
Coming to Africa and coming to Tanzania and Zanzibar and having those experiences with the people in the community here.
Helping the kids, just feeding the families. But for me, it was really hearing from the religious leaders.
I've always wanted to come to Tanzania, specifically Tanzania and Zanzibar. In terms of fundamental changes, for me, while the opportunity to go on these excursions, for me, the real heart for me was the humanitarian aspect of it, right? Really being able to go to the orphanage and really kind of be with. I've never had an opportunity to go to a well ceremony. So that was really humbling and inspiring.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, my name is Mina Turkilo, I'm 22. It is such a great honor to be here with everyone. It is a very emotional day, but we're so excited to be opening a water well for Golden Generation. They just let us know that this will be giving access to 1,020 people where they can use water, and that brings us nothing more than joy.
I think that this was a trip of a lifetime for me, and I loved every minute of it. It was such a joy to be a part of that community, and they took us in and to play with those babies and their families and to watch the smiles on their faces when that well was pumped, and just to watch them splash that water on their face. That's something we do 5 times a day, just because we can, or we get something on our face, and this community was just a real joy to be around and to watch what this well opening was really going to do for their entire life.
All right, there we go. All right, so you saw this work being done, you saw these water wells, and we were working with Embrace Relief. So what matters here in doing this is not only the scale, but it's the way that the work is done with the community. So they're not distant projects. Participants on these Hizmet trips see the impact. They meet the people that are involved, and they return home changed. This is how service becomes education, and education becomes diplomacy. Culture without service can remain abstract. And service without understanding can actually become shallow. So when dialogue and humanitarian action actually come together, learning becomes ethical and transformative. Because these experiences are so powerful, they deserve careful study. This research uses like pre and post data, follow-up interviews, comparisons with traditional studies abroad, as I mentioned. We're also looking at Villanova University study abroad to understand how does this transformation happen and how does it last, or why it lasts. So here's a person-to-person diplomacy. As you can see, we're at one of the schools here. And I think that might be Uganda. Oh no, that's Bucharest. Yeah, so over here we would have meetings where we would meet with school leaders. And the school leaders would bring in the community leaders. So, and in one instance, not this one, this one specifically, we met with the top religious leaders in Tanzania. And so that was something that was really special for people. All right, so, are there research studies that are out there on study abroad? Absolutely. But there's not really anything looking at this kind of travel programs for anybody, not just students, but for adults as well. So I think it's important that we look at that. We take from those study abroad programs like they've had here in India, and we try to learn about those long-term impacts, because I believe that we have some long-term impacts that we need to be talking about more with Hizmet. So I'm going to close with a video. Gives you another idea more than I could just talking to you about how beneficial these trips are for Hizmet.
Womack. I'm in Kampala, Uganda today, and we're at a school where they learn how to sew. And as you can see from all of this beautiful artwork right here, they do a great job. We gave out some sewing machines. We were in the other room where they actually do the sewing and got to experience how they do it. They've been about a week through classes, and the stuff that they have made is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But yeah, now we're over here picking out some clothes with some beautiful stuff. I got some clothes over there.
And these are women that I understand are coming from very impoverished areas. They're also women that may have been involved in prostitution or have had some previous domestic abuse. And so what they do is they come in for a couple weeks and they're able to learn the skill of sewing. So it's a really, really valuable skill here in Uganda to have. And they've made a number of different beautiful things, which is where we are right now, taking a look at some of the dresses that have been made by previous classes, different table runners, and all kinds of things.
So today we came here to see all the beautiful ladies sew and how they sewed and how they did their lessons. We saw some beautiful artworks. I actually got gifted some clothes as well. And it's really great to be here. Everyone's so enthusiastic about what they're doing. And we're so thankful that they had us, and they're so warm and welcoming to us. So it's great to be here.
There we go.
A rewarding experience today. I really enjoyed being able to spend time with the kids and actually play with them and get to know them a little bit and serve them food and give them things that they need, like feminine hygiene products and coloring books and crayons and clothing. So it was really a great day.
I also had a lot of fun. I think it's really important to see how other parts of the world live from where we come from. We're not used to this, obviously, but it's definitely real world impact, and we want to make a solution for this. I mean, yeah, absolutely important to be better informed about the world. I mean, if I didn't know about this stuff, I would never want to make a difference and help these kids, and I think this just empowers me even more to start doing that work as soon as I can.
And I also feel like in America, we complain about a lot of things, and this puts those things in perspective. This has been an amazing trip. I'd go on more. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, God bless you.
My name is Lillian, and I was lucky to be here at this orphanage today, serving and helping the children at the orphanage as well as the members of the community. And I think that being here, being able to help these people in person is very, very important, because you can see visibly how much the smallest things can affect. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, go on. So I think that you can really see how being here, showing your face and giving these people, in the grand scheme of things, not, a lot. It's like, one piece of clothing, maybe two, some piece of candy, some food that could last them maybe a month. But you just see the amazing impact that has, and you're able to better these people's lives in the short term, but also in the long term, as they're able to, save up a little bit more for right now as they have this relief at the moment.
So I know I'm probably like way over my time, but I just want to end this with how impactful this is. One of the girls that was talking up there was going to go to law school and decided that she was going to join the Peace Corps. So she's in the Peace Corps now. So there are different levels that people are on when they travel on these trips, but they all walk away with a new lens of looking at the world. So Hizmet does a very good job of this. So thank you, Hizmet.